So, Mel, please, when you're
Yes,
ready,
I'm
introduce
ready now.
yourself.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. Please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about, who you are, what you do. Obviously, I know, but there'll be lots of new people to the hub who, yeah, I'm sure will be really interested to know what you do.
So, hi, I'm Mel. I run a sling library called Wrap Hug Sling Library, and I'm based in East London, Tower Hamlets, Hackney, and all the surrounding areas. So, I have been running this for 10.5 years now. I run regular one-on-one sling library sessions in Bethnal Green, and then I have all sorts of different sessions all over East London, and I also run a really big parent and perinatal support group called the Tamlet Family Meetup, and that is in Poplar at Poplar Union. It's a really big group now. We have sometimes 70 people who show up. It's really, really
Wow.
busy. And we offer baby support. We also have lactation consultants, doulas, first aid, people do elimination communication, like absolutely all sorts of people who come and support, and it's a safe space for people to meet other parents and chat. Also run a mother and baby sharing circle once a month, so it's a much smaller group where we can have honest conversations privately. And so basically, in terms of what I do for baby support, I see parents who are expectant or new to baby wearing or have toddlers, twins, you name it, and we help them either with their own sling or they can choose a sling with some support. I've got about 400 slings to for everybody, for everybody's needs, and people can just hire, trying them on and just learn new skills. We just support in many, many ways. People with different abilities, mobilities. We also show them how to feed in the slings and how to carry safely, obviously, which is just very, very important. And just here to say hi and support them as well. That's about it. And I also like do a lot of work for brands and stuff like that on the side as well. Was looking after my 2-year-old.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah, and it's safe to say you're so passionate about this area, and that's why I love having you on here. So very
yeah.
grateful for your time. And
Thank you.
Nisha, I can see you've joined. Please feel free to join in or just listen. It's totally up to you. I'll keep an eye on the chat if you want to ask any specific questions, but also feel free to take yourself off mute and ask. We have had a few questions for people who are, at work and things who will watch this back later. So I can start on those for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So the one that I guess we always do ask, but it's mainly around when you are pregnant and you're just starting out, how do you even start to think about which sling or wrap or what should you be thinking about when you're completely new to it all?
Right, so that's a good question. So what I would say is to definitely start thinking about it before you have your baby. We see a lot of pregnant couples who come and they try slings on and see what works for them. It's quite a good time to do it because you don't have your baby yet, so are sleep deprived, and you can really focus on trying slings on. And obviously we have all sorts of tiny demo dolls that parents can use. And the other thing I want to say is that don't worry if you've got a massive bump, it doesn't matter. You can still use a sling and learn how to use it. It's just your baby will be much higher. I think baby will be higher up on your body when you're learning.
Hmm.
It's good to have a thing because, so for many reasons, to learn about safety, which is very, very important, especially when it comes to carrying newborns and small babies. So we're here to explain that, but obviously you can find all this information online. But also
Yeah.
not all slings are suitable for newborns, and that's very important to bear that in mind because unfortunately a lot of brands will just advertise to you and say, oh yeah, it's suitable for newborn, but what is a newborn?
Hmm.
It's it's not always the case. If your baby is very small or born prematurely, there are added concerns though that we need to address that, and there will only be just a couple of slings that are going to be like really suitable and easy to use for premature small babies as well. And what I would say is that you might like something that you've bought and you think, oh yeah, this is great, and actually it just doesn't work for you and your
Mhm.
baby, or your body shape doesn't work for your partner. So it's just really, really worth going to a sling library, getting some information, trying some slings on, understanding what is going to work for a newborn, what will work later on. Um, and getting a sense for it. Also understanding that some slings will work really great for small babies, and
Yes.
eventually you'll have to move to something else. Especially if you have a very tight budget, it's good to think about what might work long term. Um, so that you don't have to like get new slings all the time. And also sling libraries are here for hiring, so this is also what we're here for. And we just hire anything long term for as long as you want. There's just no time limit, and it works out a lot cheaper than just buying new slings over time. And it's
Mhm.
obviously eco-friendly, which is very important.
Yeah.
It's one big reason why I do that as well. I'll buy
Yes.
the slings so you don't have to.
Yeah.
But yes, and then it's also getting a bit of reassurance, because it's very, very overwhelming. The world of sling is just oversaturated, and it's important to get information and understanding how things work and learning how to use them safely and comfortably. And if you have also had any issues during your pregnancy or birth, whether that is pelvic floor problems, or if you've had a C-section as well and you're still very sore, understanding what is suitable and not so suitable. So
Yeah.
we love our job. We love helping.
And it's so important to utilize that
Yeah.
resource if you've got it locally, because it only stays open if people use it right, and it's so
Yeah.
important. So when a couple of people who are speaking to about slings who are in my local area who are asking about prices, and they would sort of ask me, you know, one's £40 for like the fabric sling, and then you can get ones at three, four, £500. Like, does it mean that the more expensive ones are better? Is that what you
Absolutely
should be
not.
paying?
No, absolutely not. So first of all, it's quite easy to find slings free.
Yes.
Almost all your mates will want to give you one, or people will just like give them away. If you have absolutely no money, I will give you a sling for hire for free. I help many people who are in financial difficulties, and they just get a free sling hire. And there are many sling libraries in the country who also have a free hire scheme. I am not funded or anything. I just do it because I really strongly believe that everybody should have access to a safe and comfortable sling.
Mhm.
So you can start with a stretchy wraps, or stretchy wraps like these long piece of fabric. Um, some are more expensive than others. So this brand is quite pricey, it's more like £60. You can pick one up, cheaper brands for around £40 ish. Most sling libraries like myself, we do hire this for £5 a month. And considering they last 3-4 months, it's much cheaper to just hire, and you're
Mhm.
supporting your local sling library at the same time. And then if you start to look into like more expensive carriers, so I've just got a few here for you on the floor. So these are like more high-end carriers. So this is the Ergo Omni Breeze, for instance. We're looking into £200 for the newer versions of this, the deluxe, for instance. And then you have the luxury brands that will charge you the moon for them. It's totally unnecessary to spend so much money. It will not be nicer, it will not be more comfortable, and it's not worth the money, in my opinion. It's really not about that. I have countless clients who come with, and I'm not going to name brands, with very expensive
Yeah.
carriers, because all the influencers have been like advertising to them, all the celebrities, and they come, and first of all, it doesn't fit the baby, especially when they are newborn or very small, or their soul structure doesn't work for the mom's body, or it just doesn't work. It's just not comfortable. It's not for them, and I know some people who spend £600 on a fancy carrier, and it just doesn't work for them. It's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth spending that money. And also, what I would say is just forget big brands and what Instagram is advertising you and what all your friends are having. Just go and get some information. If you can't get to a sling library, I have many blogs, many videos, many reels that you can access and watch and learn from there. It's not worth it. It's not
No.
worth it.
No,
Definitely not. Yeah.
it's really not. Um, yeah, it's just really interesting how the perception of price can make you feel like something's better or or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with buggies, same with everything. And
Yeah.
in reality, you don't need any of that. You can also pick up things secondhand really, really easily,
Mhm.
because anything that is used by a baby will be used only for a short amount of time, because babies grow out of things super, super quickly, as we all know. For a lot of things, just not worth buying new.
So, Mel,
Yeah.
on secondhand, I know you talked about it on previous chats we've had about the safety elements and how to just make sure if it's secondhand and it's been used a lot, like how can you just make sure that it is okay for you to carry your baby in?
So there are types of sling that will wear out more than others. So if you take a stretchy wrap, for instance, what I always tell people is to grab the wrap and hold it in a light.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you can see, but I took this one because this one has been, it's really hard to see. But if the light is going through a lot and you can see that there are some points in the wrap that are weaker, then you are more likely, you can see it a little bit, it's really hard to show. You can see that it's been worn out and it's likely going to start creating a hole.
Hmm.
Again, hold it up in the light if you see any tiny holes. Some brands are more likely to get holes than others. Then just don't use it. It's not worth
Hmm.
it. It's not going to suddenly rip, but over time it will rip, and it's just not safe to use. So stretchy wraps, if it's fine, there's no holes, there's no wear or anything, you can use that. Um, Things like, so if you grab a clothes cable, for instance, often people bring them second hand, and like, so this one is fine, but like the stitching can start to come off. Anything that you see is just not safe. Any stitching that looks a little bit loose, I would say be very wary, because again it can just break very quickly with the weight of the baby, or if you pull quite hard.
Hmm.
um when it comes to carriers, so like I've just grabbed this one for instance again, any damage in the buckles, again, any stitching that's coming off anywhere around here. If the buckle isn't clipped properly or the webbing is worn out, then just don't use it. It's not worth taking a chance. When it comes to like woven wraps or like wraps that don't stretch, they usually, these last a lifetime. I
Hmm.
have some here that are carried. My first son is and he's almost 11. He'll be 11 in a few days. So, and they still are going fine. Again, any holes, anything, just don't use them. But like these really last a very, very long time. The other thing that I know we've talked about before is when it comes to secondhand, is that there are fakes out there. So Ergo Baby is a massive problem. So this brand in particular, other brands not so much, more rarely copied, but this
Hmm.
brand and this particular carrier is faked a lot. So there are a lot of counterfeits out there. I've
Hmm.
made many videos to help people try to figure out if they've got a fake one or not. And I always recommend people don't actually buy them secondhand. This is the one thing that I'll say you need to be so, so careful. It has to be, or buy it from a person you know, bought it from a retailer or directly from Ergo, and you've got the invoice and you can see all of that.
Hmm.
It's not worth taking a risk. These are a massive problem. The market is rife with them. Vinted, eBay,
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace. Fake carriers are not tested for safety, and they can break and they can be dyed with toxic dyes that the babies can suck on.
Mm.
So this is just the one thing that you need to be mega careful about.
And I suppose if you're planning to resell anything, keep the receipt so you
Yeah,
can show people that it's
yeah,
genuine and safe. Yeah.
absolutely. But
I'm
I mean
terrible for that. I always forget.
um, to be really honest, like I've seen also many fake invoices,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, it's really tricky to know. And sometimes, a lot of the time, people have no idea they bought a fake, because they think they're buying it from a shop or online and it's safe. I mean, there's been fake Amazon Go like front shops. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
it's really difficult to know. I spend a lot of my time in sessions assessing if the slings are, if those carriers are fake or not. Sometimes I actually can't tell because they're so sometimes it can be really difficult. Sometimes I can tell straight away without even like touching and just looking. I can tell. But I've made a few videos to try and help people. But it's just yeah, it's a massive problem, massive problem. So don't take the risk.
Yeah, unless you're
Higher.
completely certain. Yeah, yeah, higher.
Higher, because we definitely have real ones.
Aisha, I know I can see you there. Don't worry if you want to kind of just listen in, but if you did want to ask a question, feel free to ask or put it in the chat, and I'll keep an eye on there as well. So let me check my other question that I had. In terms of age, so this lady has got an older baby, sorry, a toddler who is still
Yeah.
kind of been around in the carrier sometimes, but more the back one. In terms of age of when that baby can kind of go up to, and then putting a newborn in a carrier as well, how would you manage that? I think they're a bit confused about what's the best thing to do for the older one and then the younger one.
So it depends. You can tandem carry. So if you wanted to have one on the back and one on the front, it's very, very possible to do.
Yeah.
There are many things that can be combined. You could have a newborn in a stretch wrap, or like a close caboo, or even a very, very small lightweight carrier. And then back carry the toddler in a toddler carrier, or a toddler on buhimos. So like these are like toddler carriers that don't have waist belts, so they're quite handy. There's literally hundreds of ways to combine slings. You can have two in one woven wrap and so on. You can carry toddlers and preschoolers for as long as you want. It's totally up to you, as long as you don't go above the upper weight limit of the carrier. So all carriers have labels inside, and that tells you what's the upper weight limit for that carrier. So if you have a baby that is getting a little bit big, for the baby size carrier, you might want to move to a toddler carrier, or look at a baby carrier that expands a lot, so that will grow with your toddler. Sometimes the upper weight limit is so high, it's not the point you will change to a new carrier. So like, for instance, some can go up to 20 kilos, which is massive. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean you'll feel supportive up to that point. It's more about how it supports your baby. So you want to, and I'll take just a newborn here, but you want to always support baby toddlers, preschoolers from knee to knee, like that, okay? The minute the carrier is too narrow at the base and the legs start to hang, then it's not supportive enough for your child or yourself. And in terms of the height, so you want always, I'm going to just use this, the top of the panel, obviously for newborn, should be like in the nape of the neck. For a toddler, it shouldn't be any lower than shoulder blades, this area. If it's too low, your toddler baby can actually get out of it.
Right.
So then when to switch is, there's no like set ways to know that. It's really just when it's just not supportive anymore, and then when it's just not tall enough, basically, because that upper weight limit on carriers is like massive. So
Yeah.
you want to move, but you also don't want to move to a toddler carrier that's too big. So like, some are just so wide, sometimes it will just not support the baby, the legs will be split, and then the panel would be too high. Usually the lower weight limit will tell you now is a good time to switch. So like for toddler, for most toddler carriers, it's around 10, 11 kilos. But I also have seen a 9-month-old that's 10 kilos and it just doesn't fit them. So it's really about body shape. So that's why sling libraries are here. You can come and try and see if that fits your baby.
Yeah.
You can do poster hire from me and lots of other sling libraries as well. If you want to try before you start buying anything. So there's no like this, the answer when it comes to baby wearing, the answer is always it depends. It depends on so many things. So I can't just tell you, yep, this is exactly when and how. Every family is different, every child is a different body shape, every carrier is different. So it's difficult to say this is the moment when this happens. But in terms of you and how long you want to carry it, it's entirely up to you. It's not for anybody to tell you how long you want to carry your toddler or preschooler. There will always be a sling that will support that. And I have many families who have to carry a 4 or 5-year-old for many different reasons. And there are slings and carriers for them. So
Okay.
it's up to you.
That makes sense. And final question on my list is around caesarean birth and how soon can you carry a baby in a carrier or a sling, and what would you recommend would be the best one or style to go for?
So there's no best thing. That is just a really personal preference. How soon? Again, the answer is depends. There's no like waiting time. It's entirely up to the mother or birthing parent to decide when they feel they're okay. What I always tell people is just listen to your body, okay? Listen to yourself, see how it feels. Start slow, progressively, and then when you feel uh, a bit stronger, a bit better, you can carry longer periods, go for walks, and so on. Start slow at home. Um, it's actually better, easier to use a sling, a suitable sling, to carry your baby after C-section rather than just putting baby up and down constantly. It's actually a lot harder on your body because
Yeah.
it puts a lot more pressure on your lower abdominal muscles and sometimes onto the scar. It's also better than using a pram, so like pushing the pram, like pushing it up to go up the curves and so on. That can be actually quite painful.
Hmm.
What I would say is you just listen to your body.
Yeah.
There's lots of great options. So stretchy wraps. Stretchy wraps are also always a great option because there's zero structure to it. You can choose a little bit how you wrap, you choose what you tie, you don't put pressure on your scar anywhere. Woven wraps as well, if you want something that's not stretchy, so like super sturdy. If you're not so much into wrapping, you can go for closed caboose, which are basically like a pre-tied stretchy hybrid, so you don't do
Hmm.
so much of the wrapping. The nice thing about that is there is just absolutely nothing around here. It just is on the sides and around the upper body, so there's nothing that goes anywhere near your scar. Ring slings are also really great after C-section because you wear them just crossbody. So again, I'm not going to demo everything because I would be here for literally hours and hours. And like you just basically carry your baby like that, and again, see, there's nothing. If it has to be a carrier, what I would recommend, let me grab one, is to go for really like soft, lightweight carrier. So this is the Mama Rogo Zen Sling, for instance, and that works quite well because you can see the waist belt is like super soft and malleable. Again, sometimes waist belts don't work great after C-section because you do have to tighten it. Although you never carry here, you always carry on your waist, which is here. So I had a C-section with my first. My scar is here, and my baby, his bum would be roughly here. So there's just never anything around here.
Hmm.
So like a very soft waist belt or a very thin one, like if you take the Izmi, they've got very small waist belt like that. What I would absolutely not recommend is a bulky carrier with a big waist belt. So like anything like ergo, all of that, really try to avoid as much as possible.
Yeah.
If it does feel okay for you and it fits your baby, because these don't fit newborns great, have your waist belt really nice and high. But like I'm not a fan of tightening things quite tight around the waist because then it can put a bit of pressure on the deep tummy muscle and then sometimes you can feel it
Yeah.
on the C-section scar. Again, everybody's so different.
Yeah.
What I would say is just try like super soft slings, wraps, caboose, ring slings. Usually they work quite well.
Hmm.
If you do find when you're carrying, it's comfortable, but like after a while, you can feel a bit of pressure. You
Hmm.
can do what we call an off-center carry. So instead of carrying your baby here, you go a little bit to the side, not into a full head carry, but a bit more to the side, nice and
Hmm.
high, like that. And then so that stops so much pressure on the deep tummy muscle.
Yeah.
This sometimes can work quite well with a stretch wrap or a ring sling as well. Um, and just to really take your time, listen to your body is so important. If you don't feel well, just sit down, stay at home, like small amount, and go for a walk and try to have somebody with you. But don't push yourself. Just see what works for you.
Hmm.
But it's definitely easier to use a sling than putting baby up and down, constantly holding in arms and
And also,
yeah,
I think if you need to be out and about pushing a buggy, can
yeah,
be more, yeah, detrimental sometimes. The pushing
yes,
side of it, yeah, especially
yeah.
if heavy or uphills and things. Which we all hope that people can, take that time to rest and recover. But the reality is, people do need to do things. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
especially if it's not your first time, and it's just
yeah,
I've got a
yes.
feeling I know what it's like.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. It all goes so fast every time.
I know, I
So thank you so
know. I'm
much
just
for
like, can you keep
packing in that
talking?
information. We're posting this within the apps, people can have a look. And Aisha, if you have any questions or anything that you want to send over, please do.
Yeah, could I quickly just ask a
Of
question?
course, yeah.
Thank you. Hi guys. So my it's my first baby. My first question would be, I guess it makes logical sense to go to a sling library after having the baby, or is there any advantage to going before?
So that's what I've talked to about just at the beginning.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
So you just join a bit later. So absolutely go before your baby's here if you can. It'll just, as I was saying, it's just so much easier because you can focus and you're not so sleep deprived, and you can see like already what you like, and also get a lot of information because not all things are suitable for newborns. So it's really worth like trying and talking with your local sling consultant about what options will work for you, what you want out of carrying, what works for your family, and also like getting used to it. So like if you are keen on wrapping, for instance, I always tell them, come whilst you're pregnant, I'll show you how to wrap with a stretchy wrap because it's a great option for newborn. And you can also belly wrap with those, so you can just use it to give yourself some support. And belly wrapping is great because it already gets you into the idea of, oh, this is how we keep the tension and that's how it feels on the body. So you can use these in pregnancy, which is just really wonderful. But also, yeah, just to learn about safety. So if you go to your sling library, they will talk to you about safety, and all of that is already obviously available online as well. They'll show you how to safely carry, address any concerns, anything, any questions you have. It's really worth going before your baby's here, because you can give your full attention and you're not like tied with appointments and things like that, and you'll be ready when your baby arrives. You'll know what to do, so yeah, go for it.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying. Thank you.
Have you got one near you, Aisha? Do you know there's one there?
Yeah, I'm based in Cardiff, and I think there's one here and one in a local city as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, there is. So if
Yeah.
you go to, there's a website called the Sling Pages. If you go
Okay.
on there, it was recently updated, so you can go and have a look, and you'll find your local sling library or sling consultant if they don't have a library, but they do just private consultancy. You can go there. Otherwise, there's lots of information online as well. So feel free to
Fantastic.
get in touch. Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much for joining, Aisha. And have a lovely day, Mel. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you. I will. Thank you very much. Always nice talking to you. Hopefully see you soon.
Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.